Autumn weather blowing into Winnipeg. Even a few toques on the sidelines were ready for the rematch between the Eskimos and the Bombers under the Friday night lights at Investors Group Field.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers started the season with Buck Pierce, started the first 4 games. He's now a BC Lion. Went to Justin Goltz. He started 2. Then it went to Max Hall. Started 2 games there. Back to Justin Goltz for 3. And we're now back. Starting quarterback for tonight will be Max Hall out of Brigham Young. On the other sideline, it is the Edmonton Eskimos. Mike Riley got the victory against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers a week ago and was named the Offensive Player of the Week for his efforts.
Kavis Reed's Eskimos snapped an 8-game losing streak last Saturday, and now the Green and Gold try to end a 5-game losing skid here in Winnipeg. Both teams with 2 wins. Tim Burke's Bombers 2-9 this time last year. They won 4 of their last 7, and they're looking for a second consecutive win at their new home after a Banjo Bowl victory against Saskatchewan. Grant Shaw's got it on the tee, and here we go as he kicks it off, and Will Ford will field it at his 13-yard line. And Ford out across the 32. And Max Hall and the Bombers go to work on offense first. The starters to watch brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard.
We will have 1 new receiver in the lineup. That's Akeem Foster, who gets the start after the trade with the BC Lions that sent Buck Pierce back to Vancouver. Akeem Foster will see action tonight. Terrence Edwards getting on a bit of a roll, especially with Max Hall at quarterback. More on that as the game goes on, but was their leading receiver last week.
So Hall came in the second half last week, had 160 yards passing. Bombers need a better start than they got last week at Commonwealth. Into the hands of Clarence Denmark, and he's up across the 40-yard line. Good first down production. Denmark close to 9.
I know there's 2 defenders for the Edmonton Eskimos that are interested to get going tonight because Marcus Howard and Odell Willis will face 2 brand new tackles in Jarvis Jones and Dan Knapp. And you look at their combined career sacks, Knapp and Jones will have their hands full. J.C. Sherritt, second game back from injury.
So 2nd and 2, and the handoff to Will Ford, and into the arms of the former mayor of Swaggerville, Odell Willis, with the tackle.
Both Dan Knapp and Jarvis Jones, nice resumes. Jones from Oklahoma, Dan Knapp out of Arizona State, and both have been here for 4 days. Forced into the lineup. The injuries to Glenn January and Shannon Boatman. And good conversation with Justin Sorensen, the center, before the game. I said, are they ready? He said, well, they've been putting in 12-hour nights, even though it's only been a couple of them, just trying to get all the play calls.
Kim Murphy shows you how close it was, and it's not just January and Boatman. They've lost in recent weeks Steve Morley, Paul Swiston, so the depth of that offensive line really tested, and the strength of it will be here on 3rd and less than a yard. And not much of a surge. Not much of a surge for Jason Boltus in the short yardage group. Max Hall coming back onto the field, hoping he's got a fresh set of downs, but let's see. Chains are coming back out.
That close. You're right. The offensive line, that young group, did not get a very good push. Interior of the D-line for Edmonton, very strong, with Ted Laurent anchoring that group.
Stretching it out, and whoa, just by the nose of the football.
Only just. Yeah, take a look at that surge. Good leverage and low man wins in short yardage, and looked to me like Edmonton got a little bit lower, but by the nose of the football. Jason Boltus gets there.
Bomber team has turned it over at least 3 times in their last 8 games. Nearly a turnover on downs, but they have a first down and a throw for Kohler, and he's got it. Rory Kohler comes up with the football at the Eskimo 46-yard line. 6 catches at Commonwealth and a nice one to start here of 22 yards.
You know, first of all, a good play call to get Max Hall outside of the pressure. Start to change the launch point a little bit. That gives him a chance to get it out there, and you're right. Rory Kohler works back to the ball, thrown open as he goes one-on-one with TJ Hill.
First down, 46-yard line. Here comes the rush. Quickly into the hands of Kohler again. TJ Hill has the tackle. And Hill hit 500 tackles in his Canadian Football League career last week at Commonwealth. An impressive milestone for a solid 7-year veteran.
Just amazing. And the guy with 51 tackles on the season. When you think about current players right now, he ranks 3rd in that list. Chip Cox in Montreal, 565. That's Dante Marsh, the short side corner in BC. And then TJ Hill, 500th last week.
6 for Kohler, 2nd and 4. Again, Hall gets it out of his hands quickly, and G.C. Sherritt unloads on Will Ford. Pass incomplete, and a flag was thrown prior to the toss by Hall.
He took a hit and was shaking his left hand, getting up off the turf.
Of course, injured his throwing hand in his second start in Guelph against the Tiger Cats, and indication is this is going against Edmonton.
Offside, Edmonton, number 41. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So Odell Willis was ahead of the snap of the football.
I think he's pretty excited, Odell. Looking forward to testing these young tackles out. And Odell Willis in that stand-up position, working this time on Dan Knapp. Gets him upfield. Knapp hangs in there pretty nicely, but he was just a bit offside.
Now they roll Hall on the run, the throw, and nearly intercepted on the corner. Eric Samuels had a shot at the football, intended once again for Kohler.
Well, it looked like Rory Kohler may have prevented the interception here just by continuing to battle back. He runs a curl, and to the left of your screen, he's going to fall down, and then scrambles to get back up. And when he does, he fights back to the ball. Does he get just a piece? At least distracts Eric Samuels, because that went right through both hands.
Samuels on the corner. Has played the Sam linebacker position and safety this year. 2nd and 10. And that pass is complete. Clarence Denmark the catch. Down inside the 25, and that'll be another Winnipeg first down.
Pretty good protection. Offensive line up front is going to be a focal point tonight. With all that inexperience, to see if they give Max Hall some time. He's a pure pocket passer, and if he can get some time in that pocket, he'll be able to move the football and get some things done for this Winnipeg offense. But the question was up front. They gave him good time there.
Well, the Bombers had 31 first quarter yards at Commonwealth, 1 first down. They're on the march here. 50 yards for Hall so far, and now over the middle, he's got Kohler again. Rory Kohler down to the 3-yard line. Joe Burnett saves the touchdown, but the Bombers are first and goal. Another 22-yard pickup for Kohler.
How about Rory Kohler moving back inside? Played a little wide out last week, and he moves back inside with the addition of Akeem Foster. Has been the primary target in this drive for Max Hall. Obviously a comfort zone there between quarterback and receiver. And does Hall get time? Let's take a look. Up front, remember, first-time tackles. Dan Knapp keeps Marcus Howard wide. Odell Willis not there. Hall gets the completion.
Short yardage team comes on. No touchdowns for the Bombers last week. They have not scored an opening possession touchdown this year. Boltus is in, tries the left side. It's a touchdown, Winnipeg. Bombers lead the league in rushing touchdowns. Boltus is in, and it's the 16th touchdown on the run for the Bombers this year.
Caps off a nice drive, led by Max Hall. His primary target on the drive, Rory Kohler.
Ten plays, 78 yards. DeAngelis, the extra point. And the Bombers get the quick start they were looking for here in the rematch against the Eskimos. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Late Night. Participating Wendy's open until midnight or later. Now that's better. Fans here saying the same thing after that good start for the Bombers, capped by the touchdown sneak by Jason Boltus,
who is number 2 on the depth chart tonight.
DeAngelis kicks it off, and Jamal Miles is the return man for Edmonton, and he slices through up to the 37-yard line. 27 on the return, and here comes Mike Riley, the offensive player of the week.
And what did he do when he received that honor? Immediately said it belonged to the offensive line, who have played better. Leading receiver in the Canadian Football League is Fred Stamps. He has a 21-yard lead on Greg Ellingson from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And Adarius Bowman has helped in a big, big way. 88 receiving yards and a touchdown last week. Led all receivers in that game. It was opening up some more space for Fred Stamps.
See how the Eskimos respond. Riley under pressure early and gets it away. Marcus Henry went up to get it, brings it down, and is close to a first down up at the 47.
Mike Riley has the luxury with his receiving core, especially against this secondary, to use the height advantage. Marcus Henry's at 6'5", and that inside receiver is going to run the curl. He's running against DBs at 5'9", 5'7", against Alex Suber. Even the safety, Javon Johnson, tonight, just 5'9".
Now they go double tight ends. Brian Ramsey in, and the flags fly at the snap of the football. Great start for the Eskimos last week. 17 first quarter points.
Procedure. Edmonton, number 65. 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
Simeon Rotier, the right guard, moves ahead of the snap.
A different look defensively for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers tonight. They shuffle their secondary a little bit. Tim Burke knows he can get the pressure up front. He's got to get improved play from the back end.
Tim Burke talked about the Eskimos' breaking tendencies last week, keeping that defense off balance. 1st and 15, Riley on a roll. Downfield the throw, and Bowman comes down with it. Nice catch by Adarius Bowman across midfield.
Well, Marty Marquette has moved to that wide side corner, and he's going to be tested a little bit to see how he hangs in there as Bowman gets outside, runs that quick out from the wide out spot. You can see as he brings his split into the numbers to give himself some room to the sideline. Timing's there on the roll from Mike Riley. Again, a bit of a height advantage.
Bombers appealing to Tim Burke to challenge this. They don't think Bowman made the catch, and the challenge flag comes out, and he may have used the ground to trap that football.
Well, I know he had it in his hands when he went up and got it in the air now, but he has to survive contact with the ground as he comes down. I showed you the first replay. I was showing you the position. Let's take another look to see if he did, in fact, survive contact.
Winnipeg is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass. We'll review the play.
Here the Bombers immediately reacted. Enoch Mwamba went to the bench and said, "We've got a challenge, and this is why."
Tough to tell there whether it was his arm or the ball hitting the turf. Boy, these second replays show how high Darius Bowman jumped to come down with it. This should help more. That looked like it may have rolled to the grass.
Now the ball pops out as it hit the ground. Comes loose with contact that arm on the field, and
yeah, there's
looks
no
like
question.
It didn't come out.
I don't think there's any question. That's a great challenge, and both Marty Marquette on the sideline was quick to get up and say, no, he didn't catch that. Rolled in from off the turf and grabbed it with the left arm.
Bowman does a nice job of selling it, and
well, just to corral it was pretty impressive. He climbed the ladder to go get that football.
Would be a 14-yard gain, and 2nd and 1 if the call on the field stands. And it's interesting because a couple of angles don't show it, but
well, the first
that
replay
one seems to be substantive.
The first replay angle we showed didn't show it. This is the one that looks like to me that the ball rolls, the tip of the ball rolls right off the turf. That's incomplete. As sweet as that catch was, didn't survive contact.
Taking longer than one might expect, which, well, now the verdict's in.
After review, the player caught the ball and then went incomplete. It's now ruled an incomplete forward pass. It'll be 2nd down and 15 yards to go.
So the right call is made, and a good challenge by Tim Burton.
Now, this is the right call. Tough to see from this angle as it hits. You can see it bounce up, but that longer angle showed it roll there. The tip of the ball hit the turf, and then he grabs it with his left hand and arm, and the correct call was made.
So instead of 2nd and 1, 2nd and 15. And Riley looks over to Bowman again, and about the same spot he has the catch. But he's going to be a yard or two short of the first down.
But based on those last two plays, a play I'm sure we're going to see more and more as they continue to work the outside, and you can see the cushion. I know it's 2nd and real long, but Marty Marquette's giving up a lot of space there. Takes the jam, aggressive route running from Darius Bowman. He's close, but the Eskimos are going to have to punt it away.
Marquette, who had the great Banjo Bowl performance.
Yeah, a sack and a pick, I believe.
Javon Johnson is back as the Eskimos will punt. Grant Shaw. High and short. And this one will bounce down just inside the 30. And there's Johnson to field it and get to the 35. Good start for Max Hall. A touchdown on the opening drive. And the Bombers back on offense when we return on Friday Night Football. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Bombers have only hit double digits in the opening quarter once this year. That was in week 1. The opening of Investors Group Field against the Montreal Alouettes. 4th first quarter touchdowns prior to tonight's opening drive score. And into the hands of Will Ford. Flag down. Ford into the secondary. And Marcel Young will bring him down at the Edmonton 46-yard line. Let's find out what the flag's all about. 28-yard romp for Ford, which would be his longest of the year, but it's coming back. Procedure call against.
Procedure. Winnipeg, illegal formation, no end. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's a tough alignment issue to negate a big running play for Will Ford.
Well, and the protection and blocking up front, outstanding to open up that hole. This looked like one guy off the line of scrimmage a little too far, didn't have an end. Formation issue brings the play back.
So 1st and 15 from the 30. Ball again quickly out of his hands, incomplete. Intended for the newcomer, Akeem Foster.
Well, what happens when you're brand new, only 4 days in town, and asked to play left and right tackle for Dan Knapp and Jarvis Jones? Well, you get ISO cameras dedicated just to you. And Jarvis Jones on the first drive did a nice job on Odell Wills, as did Dan Knapp, considering they're taking their very first snaps in the Canadian Football League. In fact, Boltus followed Jones on that touchdown sneak.
2nd and 15. Here comes some heat. Dropped off. Nice catch by Ford. A one-handed grab, and then no further than the 40-yard line. A good tackle by the corner, Joe Burnett, to stop Ford in his tracks and bring the punt team on.
This is one way that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you can see to the left of your screen, number 30, Will Ford, the tailback's going to help out Dan Knapp with a chip on Marcus Howard to the left of your screen there. Just help him, that young tackle, get settled in. Then he makes the one-hander. Now the Bombers will have to punt, but overall, real good play for Will Ford there.
Mike Renaud to boot, and the Bombers cover team did a nice job last week, allowing just 17 punt return yards on 7 kicks. See if Miles can improve on that total. Trying to get outside and over the 35-yard line and run out at the 40. So Jamal Miles with the good return, and Mike Riley has good field position as he tries to kickstart the Eskimo offense here in Winnipeg. Mike Riley, the 4th leading passer in the CFL. He's number 5 in rushing, and what a rushing performance it was a week ago at Commonwealth.
Yeah, you see 113 yards rushing from Mike Riley. Had a big one up the middle on really a quarterback draw, over a 40-yard run there. Leading rusher in the game.
On pace to rush for 864 yards this year. First down, the fake sweep to Miles, and Calvin McCarty can't make the over-the-shoulder catch.
Told you there was some shaking up going on in the secondary for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as they juggle their roster a little bit. Koshi Mwamba is out, so they moved Javon Johnson to the middle. He'll play that free safety spot. He's played pretty much every spot in the secondary. Not a big deal for him. They moved Marty Marquette, who's been tested a little bit already against Darius Bowman to the corner, and those 2 rush guys, one's leading the league, the other on a roll. 3 sacks in the last 2 games in Brian Turner.
The starting front 4 has combined for 30 sacks. That's the same total as the entire Eskimos defense. 2nd and 10. Riley flush, takes off, and a flag down as Riley lunging for the 50-yard line, which would be the first down. But it looks like this is coming back, and it is a call against Edmonton.
Holding Edmonton, number 69. It's a 10-yard penalty, remaining 2nd down.
It's the left guard, Miles Mason.
That was the lane that Mike Riley went through. See left guard Miles Mason here. He's blocking on Zach Anderson, takes him wide, and as Riley steps up through there, he grabs him and twists him around, doesn't let him go. And you know, if you would have let him go, he's not catching Riley anyway.
So the Eskimos in 2nd and long once again. 2nd and 20. And Riley hit. Ball came loose, and the Bombers have it. Brian Turner's got the football. And that front 4 forcing a turnover.
Only question I know Edmonton fans will have is whether or not Mike Riley's arm was moving in the forward passing position when he was hit from behind.
Alex Hall with the hit. And no challenge from the Eskimos. So the Bombers to work. Fake to Ford, inside it goes. And Terrence Edwards has a catch.
You got to watch in our introductions for a couple of reasons. One, he is the veteran of 9 years. Been a real quiet year for Terrence Edwards coming off the foot injury. But he was the leading receiver on the team last week, had the 5 catches for 66 yards. And seems that him and Max Hall have a little more chemistry than Terrence Edwards and Justin Goltz. When Goltz left the game, that's when Terrence Edwards got involved, when Max Hall came in.
And his big game of the year, 8 catches, 172, was with Max Hall against Hamilton. Here's Hall looking into the end zone, looking for Edwards. Touchdown, his first of the year. The dread over for the veteran receiver, and the Bombers up by a pair of touchdowns early.
Great corner route, and Max Hall's going to put it up there where he can run underneath it. Donovan Alexander just can't get around Terrence Edwards' body. Perfect corner route, and the Bombers take advantage of the sudden change and the turnover.
2 plays after the fumble, a 13-yard touchdown pass from Hall to Edwards, and it's the Bombers 14-0 here in the opening quarter.
Bombers know that down in the goal area they're going to get a lot of man-to-man, and Terrence Edwards going to take advantage of this matchup. He's going one-on-one on Donovan Alexander. The safety was playing way off him. That corner route run perfectly by Terrence Edwards. His first touchdown this year in the CFL. And what a throw from Max Hall.
Couple of catches there and over 7,500 yards receiving in his career. After that last series, here comes Miles, and he is cut down. Ian Wild in there to make the tackle, with more on the man who just scored the touchdown. Here's Sarah Orleski.
Thanks so much, Chris. Terrence Edwards has been here for 7 of his 9 years in the CFL. He says he doesn't want to go anywhere. He wants to retire as a Blue Bomber despite the troubles and frustrations of a season like this. In 5 of the first 6 years, he had over 1,000 yards. Coming into tonight, only 405. But he says Winnipeg is just a great fit for him. He can't see himself going anywhere else. He doesn't want to. He's 34 years old now. As for how long he plans to continue playing, he says that each year, just like he did early in his career, he just takes it 1 year at a time.
Got 1 more year in his contract, his option year, and if the Bombers want him back, you know what Sarah just mentioned, that he would be back, would like to retire as a Bomber.
47th career touchdown for Edwards. Here is Hugh Charles straight ahead, and what a reversal of the game last week. 17-0 Edmonton early, here 14-0, and Terrence Edwards adding to the Bomber lead.
Yeah, and you know, I got the sense reading some of the quotes in the paper yesterday, Terrence Edwards almost sounded like a guy ready to retire. And you know, Sarah mentioned that if the Bombers would like him back, he'd like to come back for another year. Not really interested in moving to any other team to finish his career.
Sounds like it might be a package deal with Max Hall, the way those two click. Second and short, and they're going to be stopped. Hugh Charles brought down. Pierre-Luc Labbé fired up. So that Eskimo team having trouble moving the chains here in the opening quarter. And shut down in the second half last week as well.
Well, and the difference, I think, for Tim Burke's Bombers is the fact that he's not had the disaster plays early, the turnovers early in the game like they did last week. Remember, they had a punt return for a touchdown to start the game last week that was called back due to penalty.
Should get the ball back in good field position here. Shaw, better punt. And Damon Washington fielding it, and just stopped at the 41-yard line. A little stutter start for Damon Washington. Well, the CFL on TSN continues tomorrow. Doubleheader action. First up, the Alouettes and the Tiger Cats in Moncton, followed by the Argonauts, who continue their western swing against the Stampeders in Calgary. Live coverage gets underway 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific here on TSN. Bombers start their own 42. Two-back set. And a handoff to Ford's got some room at the right side, and Rennie Curran takes him out. 16 for Will Ford, who had a big one on the last series, called back.
Good quickness. I mean, that's the thing I've noticed in the starts, a couple of starts for Will Ford. He had against Saskatchewan 13 for 43 yards. Last week 12 for 61. Still trying to chip away at getting that first 100-yard game. But I love his acceleration. It just seems like it doesn't take him long to get from 0 to 50 or beyond.
First down in Edmonton territory, 53-yard line. Hall taking a shot, and he's got Aaron Kelly in behind Joe Burnett. Max Hall to Kelly, and it's another big play for the Bombers here in the opening quarter.
Boy, does he put this out there. This is a perfect throw from Max Hall. Aaron Kelly doesn't have to break stride. He just goes right down the sideline. He's been chipping in his 3 straight games. This is his 3rd straight game now, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Now let's take a look at those new tackles. Let's take Jarvis Jones at left tackle. How's he doing out there on Odell Willis? Not bad. Held him outside. Now how about Dan Knapp inside on Marcus Howard? Nothing. New tackles hanging in there.
41 yards. Hall to Kelly. Winnipeg first down, back into the hands of Ford. And he'll dance down to the 6-yard line. Finished off there by former Bomber Don Oramacion.
I was talking to Greg Marshall, defensive coordinator for the Edmonton Eskimos, before the game about what he said to Odell Willis and Marcus Howard about playing the young tackles. He said, now don't get too excited. Play your responsibility first. Make sure you take care of business, and then go ahead and throw your pass rush moves on those young guys, see how they handle it. Edmonton Eskimos don't do a lot of blitz in the middle of the field.
Final play of the quarter, 2nd and 5. Hall in trouble this time. And down he goes, dropped by Elmondo Sewell. Back at the 20. Final play of otherwise a tremendous opening quarter for the home side here in Winnipeg. Bombers out of the gate quickly and have a 14-0 lead. Best first quarter for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this season, and the stats reflect that.
Yeah, a team that has just one 300-yard-plus passing game all season long, on pace for their best game in that regard with 142 in the first quarter. Max Hall is getting some time to throw the football from the pocket. Those 2 tackles are playing pretty well in that first quarter.
Just needed 4 days of practice, that's all. But Max Hall, too, is a guy we haven't seen a whole lot of. He got the 1 start, 241 yards, and then in his 2nd start very early got injured. He looks sharp and get the ball out of his hands quickly.
You know, I had a quick talk with him before the game and warm-up, and he looked real confident. I asked him about his young tackles. He said, I'm not even going to worry about them. He said, athletically, these guys are real good. And he felt pretty comfortable. So this is a confident Max Hall that's been throwing from the pocket and has time to do it.
So on 3rd down, DeAngelis in to attempt the field goal, and it's a 17-0 lead as DeAngelis hits from 27 yards out. So a complete reversal from a week ago when it was 17-0 early for the Edmonton Eskimos. By the way, the touchdown pass that Max Hall has thrown in this game, the first touchdown pass for the Bombers in 5 games. And only 6 all year. They have not been held to under 15 touchdown passes in a year since 1970. Back in the Wally Gabler days.
Wow.
So it's been a while.
You have to get on a roll to get to 15. But you need the first one to get started, and that was a perfect one to Terrence Edwards from Max Hall on that corner route. Now we'll see if Mike Riley has an answer.
Mike Riley's trying to get things started. 3 receivers wide side. Riley looking that way and into the hands of Fred Stamps, who has a catch at the 40 for 5 yards. Leading receiver in the league with his 45th catch.
Also leads in a couple of other categories, and these short routes are simply to set the defensive back. In this case, Alex Suber up for a deep route later. He has 10 catches over 30 yards, which leads the Canadian Football League as well. They like to get him down the field.
They give him the 41, so it's a gain of 6, 2nd and 4. They empty it out, flags fly, a free play perhaps, and a nice catch there by McCarty. Pulled down quickly. Short of the first down by Suber, but again, looks like the Bombers were offside.
Offside, Winnipeg, number 90. 5-yard penalty, first down, Edmonton.
It's former Eskimo Greg Peach. It negates the short play by McCarty, but was a pretty nice catch.
It really was. I want to go back and show it again because Calvin McCarty looks like a sure-handed wideout, not a fullback. Go back the opposite direction. Comes up with that catch.
And McCarty will line up. Well, now he'll come back into the backfield. Looked like he was going to line up as a slot. They pitch it out. Here's the speedy Miles. Gets to the edge and then gets taken down by the new safety, Javon Johnson. Tim Burke talked about a safety needing range and needing to be a big hitter, and we saw the combination of the two there.
Yeah, it's funny because his head coach said, I know he's got range. I know he can play with the experience in the Canadian Football League, understands the position and the angles. My question is, can he be a hitter? Can he come up and make the big hit on a receiver or running back? And he showed you, yeah. And by the way, when Javon Johnson was asked the same question, he said, come on, that's no problem, I can hit.
Give Miles 6, 2nd and 4. And that's McCarty off the left side, breaks a tackle. And then they rally to the football and bring him down short of the first down.
Disha Dunn is going to get the angle. He's going to force this play and allow his teammates a chance to catch up. First thing you got to do is try and corral it so your teammates can flow to the football. Watch 23 to the right of your screen. He's going to step out wide. That tries to corral the run, get him slowed down a little bit, and allow the teammates to get there.
Now a fake, Grant Shaw on 3rd and a couple. And now you'll punt it. He was in trouble, wouldn't have got to the first down, and there'll be a 15-yard, no yards. Corbin Sharoon was trapped there, and Javon Johnson alertly came up to play the football and get that 15-yard penalty. So just a 22-yard punt as the Bombers get the ball back with the lead, momentum, and good field position. Watch your favorite heroes save the world in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. A new series Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on CTV. Offensive line at the Eskimo bench going over things with Chris Sweet, as they haven't been able to move the football consistently in this first half. Max Hall and the blue and gold have. Net of 9 after the penalty, and the short punt by Grant Shaw, and there's Aaron Kelly, another catch. Joe Burnett will bring him down at the 48, and the flag comes down. $14 more for Aaron Kelly.
Major foul, face mask. Edmonton, 15 yards, end of the play, automatic first down.
Max Hall on the timing route on the curl to Aaron Kelly, who's going to get the 15 yards tacked on for the face mask penalty at the end of the play. Let's take a look. Damaso Munoz.
4th face mask penalty against Edmonton this season. And the Bombers back in scoring range again. A throw for Collert, who was not out of his break when the ball sailed by him. TJ Hill was in tight coverage.
And Collert broke out when I think Max Hall thought he was going to continue on down the field on the go route. That's just communication error, which is a little surprising in the fact that they had such good chemistry on their touchdown drive early on, but you could see Kohler just broke out. Max Hall thought he was going to run the straight go route.
2nd and 10, and the Eskimos have a package with Curran along with Short and Munoz, all the linebackers, and Rennie Curran just ran over Terrence Edwards, but Edwards hangs on as it gets to the 25.
Yeah, you know, he hung on to this, but he also got some help from his quarterback, because Max Hall throws it to where it's not going to be just a suicide shot over the middle. It's a big hit, but the throw is nice and low so that Terrence Edwards can brace himself for impact from Rennie Curran coming inside out. Watch it, nice and low in there. He can brace himself, crouch down, and take that hit, absorb it. If he has to go up or extend for it, it becomes a big hit. Now the question was that helmet-to-helmet contact. No flags.
DeAngelis from 32 yards out looking for his 2nd of the game. And he puts that right down the middle. Well, take another look at the hit that we're sure the league will take another look at as the Bombers add to their lead. Eskimos need to get their big play man into this game. He's closing in on 7,000 yards, closing in on Jason Tucker with more. Here again is Sarah.
Well, Chris, I spoke to Fred Stamps about that today just before they took to the field, and he laughed. He said he had no idea that he was so close to Jason Tucker in terms of overall yardage as an Eskimo. He said that he doesn't keep track of stuff like that. He's a very mild-mannered, soft-spoken man. He doesn't like to talk about himself too much. He did say that each year his focus is just to get better, doesn't pay attention to the yardage. The #1 goal, though, obviously remains to get a Grey Cup.
Nice little shovel pass inside to Calvin McCarty in a first down run up at the 50. When he does get by Jason Tucker, I hope it's on a corner route.
Wouldn't that be perfect? And hey, Fred Stamps can run that corner route pretty well. I don't know if there's many as good as Jason Tucker when it came to that route. And Ricky Ray to Tucker was one that I know, partner, you called many, many times. But boy, Fred Stamps leading the league on a team that's struggled this year. Saying something.
Playing in his 99th game. McRiley looking to the sideline, and Kuhorn couldn't hang on. DeMond Washington on the scene for the Bombers.
Just fought that off a little bit.
Just 4 catches for Kuhorn in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, a couple last week, maybe getting into his head a little bit through the mid part of July and into August. Playing very well. In fact, was on pace for a career best season. Spotted a little bit.
Eskimos having trouble stringing first downs together. Looking at it, 2nd and 10. Rolling right. Here comes the heat from Mwamba. Open is Bowman, and he's got it. First down. Darius Bowman will be marked out at around the 42-yard line.
Well, and Mike Riley had to throw this, falling away from Enoch Mwamba, who shot through the gap when he got outside at containment and just kind of fell away, letting this go as Mwamba is going to put the hit on him. Bowman's gone up and pulled a few down.
Here's Mwamba shooting through to hurry the throw. But Riley has been in that position to see a few receptions this year, completions this year. Back inside, Hugh Charles, big hole, down to the 30. Another Eskimo first down, and now they're getting a little traction on offense. 11 for Hugh Charles.
Well executed ride and decided. Let's just show you how when this is drawn up and run like to perfection here. Watch Riley hold it in the stomach, wait for the hole to develop. Then he gives when he recognizes that the defensive end, Kenny Maynard, had gone high on contained, executed perfectly on the ride and decide, as Mark Tressman used to call it.
Double tight end formation. 1st and 10. Charles stays in the block. Picked up Kenny Maynard. Riley the throw. Fred Stamps got it inside the 5. Great catch by Stamps. as Riley delivers.
Almost impossible to cover Fred Stamps if there's going to be that much time, and he's allowed to go from the wide side of the field on a post pattern all the way across to the opposite sideline. And if Fred Stamps can line up here and then take it all the way across, I don't care who you are, you cannot cover for that long drop to safety. Javon Johnson, he caught that outside the numbers for a 27-yard gain that came from the opposite side. Riley had all kinds of time to get that one out there.
27 yards to Stamps. It's first and goal. Fake to McCarty. And the throw almost intercepted by Washington.
Tamon Washington, he saw a touchdown. He was planning his touchdown dance, jumped the route, and did everything but catch it. I mean, the only guy that has a shot is Riley, and there's nothing but just sits on the route. He's just going to sit on it, come underneath it. He got a touchdown.
Second and goal from the 3. Riley running out of time, and he'll get tossed down. Kenny Maynard gets home and has his 6th sack of the year, his second against the Eskimos.
I think Mike Riley wanted to go to the back of the end zone. Maynard finally gets there, coming around the end on Matt O'Donnell. I think it was Marcus Henry that Mike Riley was looking for at the back of the end zone, well covered by Alex Suber.
So Hugh O'Neill comes on from 22 yards out, and he'll kick the Eskimos onto the scoreboard here, but they settle for 3 as the Bombers defense comes up with a stand.
Go back to that sack again. Kenny Maynard gets the sack, but I think the hesitation from Mike Riley caused by safety Javon Johnson, just by position, holding the middle, occupying the vision of the quarterback, and getting underneath that route over the top from Marcus Henry. That gave Maynard just enough time to get there.
So the Bombers will start at the 35 after the field goal of Will Ford. Taken down quickly by Almondo Sewell. Big defensive tackle.
Making some noise this year as well. Sewell with 5 sacks. That matches Odell Willis. Same number as Marcus Howard coming in. And you're focused in on those matchups with the 2 tackles, and meanwhile Sewell's starting to get some pressure.
Until tonight, that defense much better. They've given up 30 points or more in 6 straight until the last 2. 29 points combined allowed in the last 2 games, but 20 here so far tonight. And that pass incomplete. Intended for Edwards. Had Kelly streaking down the sidelines too.
Tight window, and Max Hall didn't have much time this time. He had to get it out there. And when you take a look at the matchup, Dan Knapp, that right tackle against Odell Willis, been hanging in there so far, but Willis used some speed coming around the edge and just outran the corner and rushed Max Hall a little bit.
So it's the second 2 and out for the Bombers tonight. And Miles awaits at the Edmonton 30-yard line.
Tell you what, more than a passing grade as far as I'm concerned for both tackles for the Bombers.
Absolutely.
In this first half.
And some personnel issues. Rennie Stefan has to come on, and
time count violation.
Bombers take a time
Winnipeg,
count.
number 9, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
So it's marched back 5 yards, and Renault gets set to send it to Miles. Short kick. Bouncing at the 42, the no yards penalty. Mwamba with the tackle. It'll be the 5-yard variety. And Mike Riley back to work. Good field position against Casey Crehan's defense as the Eskimos try to get back in this.
No yards. Winnipeg number 43. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Crehan's defense been able to contain Fred Stamps for the most part in this game so far. That deep crosser, but this is a guy who leads the league in touchdown receptions. Got 9 of them,
which matches his personal best. One more for a new high. First down, and the pass is to Shamad Chambers with the catch. Down at the 49-yard line of the Bombers, Marty Marquette the tackle, but Shamad Chambers' first catch moves it into Winnipeg territory.
A difference a little personnel change can make. There is Fred Stamps. I want to show you the difference with the safety Javon Johnson being over the top and in position to help on this play. Fred Stamps looked like he is wide open, and he is, but he's got safety help coming, and that's why Riley goes away from it.
At the 49 of the Bombers, hand off inside, and Enoch Mwamba with another tackle. Came into the game third in the tackle department with 65.
You know, this is a guy in the last 3 games. He got 17 tackles and 5 special teams tackles, among the league and his team leader in special teams tackles. There he is in defensive tackles and among the leaders there. A guy that, you know, when you're still covering kicks and making all the tackles, then amongst the leaders as a middle linebacker, that's a heck of a season.
Second and long once again. Riley, open man, first down. Marcus Henry down inside the 30-yard line.
Marcus Henry has got run this curl route. He pushes onto the like he's going to run the corner, and then just turns it up. Alex Suber tries to hustle to get high, and he just curls it up quickly.
Catch of 19 yards for Henry, who had just 1 for 7 yards at Commonwealth last Saturday. Just over 3 minutes to go. Riley a shot, looking for Stamps, and missed him by a stride or 2. Matched up against him on Washington.
What a great decision by Enoch Mwamba. Number 1, he gets in the throwing lane. He's going to disrupt the accuracy on the throw from Mike Riley, but Mwamba comes on this blitz and makes a great decision just as he arrives in front of Riley.
See what the flag's all about, and the indication it's going against the Bombers.
I don't think he got contact at all unless he brushed his helmet in some small way.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness. Winnipeg, number 90. Half the distance to the goal.
That was away from the ball. I didn't think it was Enoch Mwamba. It looked like he missed cleanly. That was Greg Peach.
Go down to the 14-yard line. Now respotted right at the 15. Second trip to the score zone for the Eskimos, who settled for 3 the last time in. Stamps lines up short side. They fake the reverse, and wide open is Charles down inside the 10. But Ian Wild tracked him and brings him down. Nice play by the weak side linebacker, Ian Wild, as we hit the 3-minute warning here in Winnipeg. GMC Live at the half is coming up in the coach's playbook. Paul Abelize will talk about those rookie tackles of the Bombers and 3 downs with Schultze, Milton Jock, and DeBradorn.
Hey, if I'm giving them letter grades right now, I'm giving Dan Knapp and Jarvis Jones B's. So there's room to grow, but more than a passing grade in the first half.
Second down for the Eskimos. They need 7. Looking for more than that, and incomplete as Riley takes a shot into the end zone and got nailed for his trouble.
Bombers activate the safety and their middle linebacker. The safety being Javon Johnson. They're going to activate him in the blitz and get Enoch Mwamba going too. He's blitzed a few times here tonight. He goes A-gap, is picked up, but watch Johnson with the angle to get outside on Riley and hit him at the junction point rather than try and chase him from inside out.
Well, it's a ratio issue to move Javon Johnson into that spot, but seems to be an effective guy in the safety position. So Hugh O'Neill back in for another short field goal attempt. And that one
missed it.
Is missed badly.
Wow.
From 18 yards out, Hugh O'Neill has missed. And he's missed a couple of short ones already in his brief Eskimo tenure.
Kerry Joseph is the holder. The snap and hold looked perfect.
Snap hook.
And he just yanked that left. I mean, snap right there, laces away, ball down.
Shades of the TSN golf tournament.
Couple in the pond, partner.
Boy, that's costly. That hitch falls incomplete. Intended for Clarence Denmark, but when we saw this a couple of weeks ago against Calgary, O'Neill misses a couple he shouldn't have, and they brought on Grant Shaw and Davis Reed. Might be looking Shaw's way again as Hugh O'Neill tries to figure out what went wrong.
I think he just jumped at the ball, didn't have that smooth swing. Look at his holder, Kerry Joseph. We're over there talking to him, just say, just relax, no problem. Was the hold okay? That's the first thing you ask is the holder. Was that how you like it? Is there any other way you'd like it any different?
Even if you know it was
Even
okay.
if you know it was good.
2nd and 10. Max Hall. Here comes pressure. Got it away. Threaded the needle. And Clarence Denmark the catch, but he'll be short of the first down.
But here's one of the things, first of all, that Max Hall is doing that this Bomber team has struggled with all year. One is that, you know, he's showing some composure here, not panicking, not, you know, making the crucial mistake. They've avoided the turnovers. You know, I had that conversation with him in the warm-up. He said, sometimes I'm realizing that you get so many possessions in Canadian football that a couple of times you're going to have to punt. Just save the field position and don't force things at times. Be a little more patient.
Message from some offensive coordinators, veterans around the league, is sometimes a punt's not a bad play.
That's right.
3rd and a yard a bit, so Renault with a line drive boot to one hopper. Here's Miles. And low bridge there, he got underneath, but it's brought down about the 32-yard line.
Enoch Mwamba, first guy down the field again.
So 1:48 on the clock. Mike Riley twice to the red zone and just 4 points to show for it, but time to put a major on the board here and change the entire complexion of this first half.
Now, can he get the football deep down the field to Fred Stamps? Seems to me Javon Johnson at safety has been helping out on Stamps a little bit.
Riley with time, and it's Kuhorn. Bubbles back, and McCarty tried to get a block in there, but Ian Wild and Brandon Stewart combine on the tackle.
Quick scan of the receiving corps. See Shamad Chambers out there on that last set of downs, and Fred Stamps had missed that first down. Looked like he may have had an equipment issue. He's getting his gloves back on and getting back out there into the huddle.
Stamps does join the offense after the 7-yard pickup by Kuhorn at 2nd and 3. McCarty in the block, but Greg Peach beats the block and gets home. Flag comes down.
The penalty is going against the Edmonton Eskimos.
So Greg Peach, who had a flag in the last series.
Holding Edmonton number 68. Penalty is declined. Third down.
After that penalty by Greg Peach, he went in and went to that sideline, talked it over, calmed down a little bit. This time he gets a favorable matchup. He's working on.
Timeout. Winnipeg.
C31, Calvin McCarty is the guy who's going to try and pick him up. And watch Greg Peach. Gets up off the cut block. Good hands to keep his feet and motor moving. To jump over the cut block from Calvin McCarty and get to Mike Riley.
On the other side, Thaddeus Coleman with the hold.
Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Miss you guys. Maybe miss you guys.
Peach with 6 sacks last year for Casey Crean in Hamilton. Recent acquisition. Bombers stop the clock. Like to add to this lead before the half's done. Shaw's boot bounces short again and off the leg down there, and the Eskimos hop on it, but no yards will be the call.
Yeah, that'll be no yards. It did hit a Bomber, I believe, first, but there were more than one Edmonton Eskimo tacklers within the 5-yard zone. Tim Burke is going to have to rewrite. I mean, he's going to have to think of a new halftime speech.
No yards.
This is a
Edmonton. 5-yard penalty. First down.
it's a situation this Bomber team has not been in very often in 2013. A big lead at the half.
Solid half for Paul, and see how he can finish it. Pocket collapsing, and it is intercepted. J.C. Sherritt on the tip. The Eskimos with a big play here, and Sherritt inside the 15, trying to get outside and caught from behind by Aaron Kelly with flags flying all over the field. But the Edmonton Eskimos have 52 seconds remaining in the first half. And great field position to get back in the game.
Well, and just as we were mentioning, Max Hall had avoided mistakes. He gets pressure here from Marcus Howard, who runs a nice spin move on new tackle Jarvis Jones. A little bit rushing the pass from Max Hall. He throws it into a bit of traffic. It bounces around.
Holding. Edmonton number 29. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Chris Thompson the hold on the return.
You know, almost just the perfect first half. There's the spin move as Marcus Howard gets that pressure. Actually looked like it disrupted his throwing motion.
Munoz almost had to pick a Bomber. I think it was Aaron Kelly almost had the catch. And on the ricochet, J.C. Sherritt's got his first.
Nice spin move by Howard.
So the Eskimos get one last chance here. There's McCarty out of the backfield. Cutting back on Wild, and Wild will take him down around the 12-yard line. It's an Edmonton first down. Haven't seen much of Hugh Charles, who's had hamstring issues, and Calvin McCarty, for the most part, has been the tailback for Edmonton in this opening half.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a tight hamstring, so they're being careful with him. May see a little Jamal Miles, who's been returning kicks offensively. He's only been around for a couple weeks.
Eskimos have had 2 drives fall short. Here's Bowman, the slant, touchdown! And just like that, they are back in the game in the final minute of the opening half after the Sherritt interception.
And just like that, Javon Johnson is spying to help out on Fred Stamps and leaves the short side slant route open. And nice job by Mike Riley to hold that safety with a quick look to his left so he can get the one-on-one matchup on the backside. Bowman inside to Marty Marquette. On the side of the coverage, and touchdown Edmonton.
Big weapon back in the arsenal for the Eskimos. Bowman has his second touchdown in 3 games back. O'Neill puts that through. And now a 9-point game.
A couple of things here. First of all, Javon Johnson has looked for this guy all game long, and he's just to the right of your screen, but he's looking to help out to the wide field a little bit more. And so he's going to leave the short side open. Now, Mike Riley knows that, so he looks off Javon Johnson, then goes backside, and what a route. There is Bowman, inside leverage. Just left Marty Marquette standing there.
So Mike Riley's got his 20th touchdown pass of the year.
Got to get it down. Stick with it. The lever's right here, bro. Wheezy.
And now there is a little more belief on that Eskimo sideline after what's been a rocky first half.
Let's go, fellas.
Shaw kicks it downfield. And it'll be picked up by Denmark. Trying to get outside. Ryan Hines chasing, and they angle him out with 16 seconds remaining.
Show you one more time. Javon Johnson looking to the side of Fred Stamps. Look where he's looking. He's looking in this direction. And then Riley will look him off just to freeze him. Watch one more time. 2 steps. Hold it there. See that quick look. That quick look there freezes Johnson. He cannot open up to the short side of the field to help on that slant route. Nice pitch and catch. 13-4.
And that matchup 6-3 against Marquette at 5'9" that they've exploited a couple of times in the game. Hall's just going to kill the clock here.
Real good half for Max Hall, but for one play. You know, rushed a little bit. Off the edge from Marcus Howard. Takes a sack there. No damage done, and they don't give up that last touchdown. But it's a game now. That's how quick it can turn.
Big difference between 16 or 9. It will be a 9-point Bomber lead through 30 minutes here at Investors Group Field in Winnipeg. To 11 for the Bombers as we head to the second half, but first to the sidelines. Sarah Orleski with Mike Riley.
Mike, when you look at this week compared to last, what's the biggest difference from an offensive standpoint?
Well, we just came out a little bit flat. Had a couple of penalties early that killed our drives, and you can't be in second and long against this defense, so we got to be more efficient on first down, and then when we get into second and short and we run the ball, we got to be able to pick up those first downs. Those are big plays, but we picked it up in the end of the second quarter. I thought that their defense and their whole team came out ready to play, but we responded well before halftime, so we just got to keep that intensity now.
Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Joe Riley and the offense will get their hands on it first in this second half. You heard him mention better first down production and convert some of those second downs that they were unable to in the opening quarter. But right back into it after the J.C. Sherritt interception.
Mike Riley will get the ball first, start this second half.
DeAngelis kicking it off. And it's Joe Burnett on the return up across the 40-yard line. So good field position to start this third quarter for Mike Riley and company.
Got a couple guys going. I saw a few throws to Darius Bowman, who had 3 catches, 45 yards. One that was overturned on the play that he actually dropped. But working against the corner, Marty Marquette made a couple of good catches, including the touchdown. Didn't see a whole lot of Hugh Charles.
No, he is in the offensive huddle to start this third quarter. Charles back in. First and 10. Completion to Fred Stamps. And Stamps trying to get loose and fumbles the football. Barber's on it. Javon Johnson down the sidelines. And he is going to score. Touchdown, Winnipeg. Fred Stamps wants to challenge. 48-yard fumble. Return for a touchdown for Javon Johnson.
Stamps wants to challenge it. He was down. I don't think he was. Alex Suber fighting for it. Damon Washington punches at it. Ball's out there. No, it's out and down. That's a fumble. Javon Johnson step out of bounds. No, he does not. Right down the rail. That's touchdown, Winnipeg.
So a turnover late to the first half gave the Eskimos life, but a turnover early in the third quarter puts the momentum right back in Winnipeg's side. DeAngelis adds the extra point. Well, that turned in a hurry. And again, it's 16-point lead.
Baby, that's for y'all.
Javon Johnson's making an impact. Fred Stamps comes out of the backfield here. It's all three receivers in motion. Then he's just going to sit down. He picks up that curl. No question he has the catch in possession. Ball's out before his knees touch the ground. Javon Johnson scoops it and is gone. That looked like Damon Washington with the force fumble.
Hey, for sure.
Mike Riley straight to his star receiver saying, don't worry about that one. Coming right back to you.
So they'll reset and DeAngelis to kick off. 44 seconds into the third quarter. And again, it's for Joe Burnett. Works his way across the 35. And back out comes Mike Riley and company.
Yeah, don't be surprised to see Mike Riley go right back to Stamps quickly here. Good quarterbacks often do that, whether it's a drop, fumble, mistake, just to give him that confidence right back. Not that Fred Stamps needs it. Been through this before. You have to have a short memory. And that was a forced fumble. Damon Washington did a good job of ripping it out of there.
There's McCarty back in the backfield, takes the shovel, but not going very far. Pierre-Luc Labbé was there. And also on the scene, Desjardins.
Well, there's not much time for Mike Riley to decide. When you've got Alex Hall coming down on you off the edge like that so hard, coming just crashing down, that decision to make the pitch or hold the football has to happen in a split second. It just doesn't allow the play to develop.
Go 2nd and 9. They empty out the backfield. Flag comes down and some early movement. And again, the Eskimos are going to be in 2nd and long.
Procedure, Edmonton, number 31. 5-yard penalty remains, 2nd down.
Elvin McCarty called.
Yeah, Edmonton, Chris, starting the second half the way they started the game. As Mike Riley mentioned to Sarah on the sidelines, that they started a little flat with some mistakes, some penalties on first down, and they started the second half the same way. A fumble turns into a touchdown, and penalty this time on 2nd down, forcing Riley into 2nd and long.
2nd and 14, 4-man rush. Riley underneath. Nate Kuhorn the catch. Cutting back, but there's bombers everywhere. Kuhorn brought down at the 40. It'll be a punt situation, and Kuhorn a little slow to get up.
You know, and you take a look at the second and long and see what quarterbacks are dealing with. Look at how deep the linebacking core is for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They're not only that deep, but they're dropping. So it really forces Mike Riley to throw it underneath. He has no option to do that, or as he's forcing it downfield into coverage, he's got to just hope that possibly Nate Kuhorn make a couple guys miss and get it on his own. But that's textbook defense. You get in second and long, drop off your linebackers, have them drop underneath, force the quarterback to dump it.
Kuhorn taking a knee, shaken up on the play, and teammates wanted him to get down to make sure that the right replacement came on for this punt. And so Kuhorn now makes his way to the sidelines. And Grant Shaw will kick it away to Damon Washington. The Bombers, by the way, have only allowed 2 points in the second half in their last 2 games. Shut down the Rough Riders, and last week Edmonton did its damage in the first half. Here's Washington again, and bounced into his own man, and now the Eskimos will drag him down at about the 36-yard line. Max Hall with the Bombers. Back to work when we come back. Nissan brings you This Is Our League, and it's Hall of Fame game night here in Winnipeg, and they honor one of the all-time great running backs. Boy, was he fun to watch. Charles Roberts. 6 times 1,000-yard rusher. 9,987 yards as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber, the 4th all-time leading rusher in the Canadian Football League. Over 10,000 rushing yards from 2001 to 2008, and honored at halftime. A little bit more coming up on him, and we saw a little emotion from Charles Roberts as well.
Here's the contract.
Current running back Will Ford with a short pickup, but yes, there was a transaction at halftime. They brought him out, a big ovation from the fans here.
Afterward, and he said
and because he was traded to BC at the end of his career and was injured and ended his career as a Lion, signed a contract to retire as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. Wade Miller, the president and former teammate, doing the honors.
Just one of those get up out of your seat kind of guys. I mean, how many times did the fans get up and watch that guy cheer him on?
Draw play Will Ford, and he is taken down by T.J. Hill at the 40, and it's a 2-and-out.
Because Charles Roberts could score any time he touched the football, and that's he could break it at any time from anywhere on the field, and you only needed to give him a small little opening. It's amazing to me how durable he was throughout his career. Well, over 5 years, missed just 3 games, and not a big guy. I mean, his bobblehead, it said actual size, because that's how small Charles Roberts is. We used to tease him about being, he's in that Dave Rendor category, and yet, man, as good as it got.
3-time CFL rushing leader, 7-time All-CFL. Charles Roberts will speak with Sarah Orleski when we come back to Winnipeg. Bombers have had some great running backs at the top of the list. Charles Roberts, and he's standing by with Sarah.
Thanks so much, Chris. The man that they called Blink. Charles, how much would you have loved to have played in a stadium like this, first and foremost?
I mean, a stadium like this is beyond the imagination. It's really beautiful. They've done a great job with it. I know it's one of the first new stadiums in Canada to go up in a long time. And, the fans of Winnipeg really deserve it. They come out and they support the team no matter the record. It's not looking good right now, but it seems like we got it turned around now.
If I told you in 2001 that you would come up here, you'd have the career, the success that you'd have, you'd rush for over 10,000 yards, would you have believed it?
No, never in my wildest dreams, man. I really strive to be a good player, but no one ever thinks that at the end of the day, at the end of their career, that they'd be able to come back and get such an honor and be so appreciated by the fans just simply for doing one's job,
And just quickly, when people think of Charles Roberts as a Blue Bomber, what do you hope they think?
I just hope that they realize and they understand, they know from the bottom of their hearts that I really aim to entertain. I came out to give a show, and I hope I was able to do that for them.
Well, I think it's safe to say that you surely did, Charles. Congratulations on the honor. Enjoy the rest of your time up here in Winnipeg. Guys?
Yes, it was showtime.
Absolutely. Without a question. I mean, he put a show on every time he was out there.
Mike Riley trying to get something going here. Stamps, I think, might have taken a catch away from Shamad Chambers. A little seniority there. A couple of guys in the line of fire, and Stamps said, I'll take care of this one.
Yeah, and Mike Riley went right back to him. This back-to-back catches for Fred Stamps, and he's back on track after that early fumble to begin this second half. But look how he takes this one away from Shamad Chambers, who's in the line of fire, and Fred Stamps says, no, I'm going to get it.
Just hit 7,000 yards rushing. Here's Kelvin McCarty with a good run. And again, McCarty appears to be the feature back tonight. The Eskimos saying Hugh Charles is okay on the sidelines. We've seen him periodically in the huddle, but looks like it's 31's game of fullback, slot back at times. And tonight, the feature back for the Edmonton Eskimos.
And Hugh Charles get a few reps. Well, you're right. It has been Calvin McCarty.
See Hugh Charles in the block here. And Riley's going to take a shot down the sidelines. Incomplete. And tight coverage from Brandon Stewart on Marcus Henry.
By not doing anything and keep maintaining composure when the ball's about to arrive, Brandon Stewart accomplished his job. It was mission accomplished for number 8 because he's going down the sideline with him. Rather than panicking, turning, he's got experience, 7 years in the league. He just forced Marcus Henry to try and fight through him, and he couldn't.
University of Manitoba Bison Teague Sherman checks in as an extra DB, 2nd and 10. Riley in some trouble. Greg Peach has got him back at the Edmonton 53. Big night for a former Edmonton Eskimo, Greg Peach.
Yeah, Greg Peach gets there. Again, Riley has a chance to get the ball out of his hands and get down the field, and the guy he wants to go to here is once again the deep man, Fred Stamps. But let me show you how Javon Johnson is again influencing Riley's decision. Hold it right about here, guys. Look at Javon Johnson favoring the side that Stamps is on. Riley holds it for another steamboat, and now he's run out of time. Greg Peach gets there.
4th sack of the night for the Bombers. Peach has 2, 3 on the year. And Shaw's boot has Javon Johnson back inside his 15-yard line. Max Hall with a 16-point lead here on Friday Night Football. Our sack tally brought to you by Purolator, tackling hunger across Canada. Check, and the Bombers are back on top with 4 tonight.
Greg Peach has a couple former Edmonton Eskimos. The Eskimos only sacked from Armando Sewell. Sewell, I got it.
And a reminder to the folks going to the game in Moncton tomorrow, Tackle Hunger Day at the stadium there. Ticats and Alouettes. Max Hall with a completion, and there's Aaron Kelly, the former Ticat, with a catch and a first down up at the 30. 3 catches for Kelly, who wondered if he was ever going to get a call, and Marcel Belfay's old receiver in Hamilton become a useful weapon.
Well, he's pitched in since arriving in a big way. I mean, 3 catches last week, 48 yards. He's a deep threat, can stretch the defense, open things up. Marcel Belfay liked him when he had him in Hamilton, gave him a call, thought he could help out. He certainly has.
Here's Ford. Kicked it outside and up to the 38-yard line. 7 yards for Ford. Chad Simpson still out with a foot issue.
I talked to Marcel Belfay yesterday in the walkthrough and asked him how it's going in trying to help this offense and kind of turn things around. He said, offensively we're getting the CFL concepts. We're bringing those in. We're trying to introduce them slowly, but it's tough to try and mix that with the old terminology, and that's where the challenge has been for this team.
And a pass on second down to the crosser. Clarence Denmark turns the corner. Cross midfield, and he'll step out at the 45-yard line. Clarence Denmark moves the chains, and a big block from Akeem Foster. 26 yards for Denmark.
Denmark coming right to left across your screen here on the short crosser, just enough to pick up the first down, but he's going to do more than that when he gets the corner and gets close to the sideline, uses his speed to outrun the angle there. That's what Belfast said to me. He said, we're getting more to the sort of prototypical CFL type offenses where we get those crossing routes, we get the quarterback in the pocket. He also had to evaluate what each player does well. A little smile from Max Hall.
First down at the Edmonton 45. Hall back in Denmark's hands and stumbling close to another first down at the 36. His 5th catch of the night.
It's funny because it's as simple as, say, if you called, Chris, a play, it's a simple running play up the middle, maybe a 25, okay? And Marcel Belfast's terminology and his offense is a 43 for the exact same play. Now that changes the blocking scheme up front, it changes the number system, it changes the entire terminology when you're trying to mix it back and forth. He said this Winnipeg team has done a real good job of trying to sort of blend the two, what they learned early on from Gary Croton and also now what Marcel Belfast is trying to bring in, a little more CFL concepts. He says slowly happening.
And Folt is sliding off the right side. Remember, they've changed quarterbacks so often. They've had to change offensive tackles this week, and it's so many changes that changing the language of the offense at this point must be very difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. So they're trying to do it in small steps and just keep the package limited so that these young quarterbacks can handle it, and same with the offensive line and blocking schemes. But right now, again, those two tackles been outstanding all night. We haven't talked much about Marcus Howard or Odell Willis.
And I think the heavy betting would have been on the Eskimos with more sacks tonight just because of the changes. Pressure there. This one up for grabs, and it's picked off. Samuels has the interception. Second pick of the game for the Edmonton Eskimos. There is a flag down as Samuels is dropped at the 34.
Brandon Lang puts a hit on Max Hall. He had to feel him coming, and because that throw was way early. I mean, his receiver had not got even close to the spot. Looks like Max Hall is trying to shake that one off. He's not quite right.
Jervis Jones lost his helmet in the fray and was arguing with the officials. The indication seems to be the penalty going against Edmonton. See if it was after the interception.
And we'll see if this D-line for Edmonton is starting to get the book a little bit on Dan Knapp and Jarvis Jones, the two new tackles, because as well as they played tonight.
After taking possession, face mask, Edmonton, number 91. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Marcus Howard, I think he removed the helmet of Jarvis Jones.
Well, let's just show you first of all where Brandon Lang comes. I mean, he's going to come from around the edge here, and it's Dan Knapp that tried to hold him off, gets pretty good contact with both hands, but doesn't take him wide enough. His feet kind of get stopped in sand there. And watch how Lang gets around the corner, so he gets his feet stopped. Chris Schultz had put on a clinic on that one. I'll tell you all about that.
Here's Hugh Charles, and that's an impressive dash for Charles up the middle into the secondary and to the 34-yard line for the number one running back for the Eskimos, who's been used sparingly tonight. 15 there.
Must be difficult for Hugh Charles because, you know, he's got to keep that hamstring loose. He's not been playing every down, and yet it might tighten up in this cooler weather. And he has to go ahead and run one of those plays.
It's almost as if he's on a pitch count here. In the block this time and makes a good one. Riley has not taken off today. Looking for Stamps. Got him. Fred Stamps. So the flag comes down. In a good battle there with Alex Suber.
This was deep. Right round where Fred Stamps caught the football is where the flag came out. They're going to call it against Winnipeg, and this play will stand.
Pass interference. Winnipeg, number 21. Penalty is declined. First down, Edmonton.
Well, this flag flew right where Fred Stamps was going against Marty Marquette, and there is Suber coming in. Now he gets the push. A little bit of a grab on the left hand. I thought they could have kept the flag in their pocket for both players there. Either way, first down, Edmonton.
The 11th pass play of 30 yards or more to Fred Stamps this year. 42. Mike Riley leads the league in 30-yard pass plays. Looking for another here. And that one's sailing well past the intended target, Fred Stamps.
With that catch, that last catch, Fred Stamps has now passed Jason Tucker.
And closing in on another great Tom Scott.
You see the difference, though, the way they got him the football. They moved Fred Stamps to more of a wide out spot, or else actually ran him from the slot to the wide out down the sideline, get him away from Javon Johnson, the safety.
2nd and 10. Bomber 34-yard line. Here they come. Riley got it away quickly. Shamad Chambers can't break the tackle. Got held up there. If he breaks the tackle of Brandon Stewart, he's still running.
And it was the right throw, the right read, and that's all that Mike Riley needed from him is for Shamad Chambers to make this one broken tackle here, and he's got a chance because blitz was coming from Javon Johnson. No safety in the middle. They switched it off. You see Suber come up, and then with a little help from Brandon Stewart.
It was Alex Suber that made that big defensive stop. Hugh O'Neill comes on. He'll attempt a 35-yarder. Out of the hold of Kerry Joseph. And O'Neill on target. 13-point lead for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as Terrence Edwards goes back to work when we return to Investors Group Field. TSN, the home of NFL Sunday Night Football. Our Week 3 matchup sees Mark Trestman's Chicago Bears at 2-0 in Pittsburgh taking on the 0-2 Steelers. Live coverage gets underway, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific here on TSN. They're all raving about the protection schemes that Mark Trestman has introduced to keep Jay Cutler untouched so far this year, just 1 sack.
Congratulations to Coach Trestman. I know a lot of guys down south watching on ESPN, and congratulations. Great start for the Bears.
Well, the ground game has been nullified in the second half by the Eskimo defense. Will Ford stopped in his tracks, a roadblock right at the line of scrimmage, and it will be 2nd and 10.
Now I'm interested to see Dan Knapp play this 2nd and long because he had just got beat on that last series by Brandon Lang. So now he has to come back and try and get a game plan. This time I believe it'll be Odell Willis.
And again, you hear a lot about the guys coming up from south of the border have to adapt to every 20 seconds, and now getting later in the game, a lot of reps. Here there comes some pressure, and Odell Willis gets home.
Been setting him up with speed rushes to the outside. Knapp had been patient, had been playing well, and now it's back-to-back series where he's starting to struggle. Maybe it is a little bit of that 20 seconds. You see the strong arm with that right arm on the inside. Hits the outside of the shoulder pads, and Knapp puts him off balance, gets home.
6th sack of the year for Odell Willis, the 46th of his career. And Knapp to the sidelines to regroup. Little momentum shift, perhaps, as Knapp is learning on the fly. Renault. And here's Miles. Little cutback, finds a crease, but Enoch Mwamba cuts him off from any further damage near midfield. Well, they've been playing from the trail position all night long, but once again, a little bit of an opportunity for Mike Riley to get this Eskimo team back in it.
Well, and they are a good 4th quarter team, and I know their record hasn't been stellar, but when you look at the 4th quarter, best team in the league in point differential, plus 43 in the fourth quarter.
Hilton under 250 yards passing in each of the last three after 3 straight 300-yard games, which included a 500-yarder. And here's Charles. That zone read play, and straight ahead as Riley saw an opening and gave it to Charles for almost 10.
He doesn't look right, though. You can tell that hamstring is bothering him. He was kind of hopping through the line there, bouncing around, does not look comfortable. Usually he's just, those feet are going 1,000 miles a second, and just that's his game, is his foot speed.
Short yardage team comes in. Kerry Joseph, Mike Cornell, double tight end formation. Second and less than a yard, and Joseph almost lost the handle. Did lose the handle.
It did. It hit the ground. He scooped it up and tried to dive forward.
It'll be third down and short yardage when we come back to start the fourth quarter. It's the Bombers by 13 through 45 minutes. Bombers with the lead. The stats relatively even through three quarters.
Yeah, I think we're going to be in for a finish right down to the wire, with the Edmonton Eskimos being a very good fourth quarter team this year. And boy, it's been fun to watch the game inside the game with the two new tackles for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and Dan Knapp and Jarvis Jones.
Well, you were giving them a high grade in the first half, but you didn't want to give them too high a grade, and now we're seeing that maybe the Eskimos are finding ways to expose them.
Well, and you know that in that first half, the adrenaline would have been pumping. They would have had their feet. You know, you talk about the 20-second huddle that basically now they're probably getting a little bit gassed, and also Odell Willis and Marcus Howard have had a chance to sort of set up those tackles now for the second half, put some pass rush moves on them.
Now third down, less than a yard, and this time no problems with the ball security, and a good surge off the right side for Kerry Joseph to provide Mike Riley, Kevis Reed, and the Eskimo offense with a first down.
Now on the other side, this chess match going offensively for Kevis Reed's team against Javon Johnson, trying to keep Fred Stamps away from the safety and to the outside has been interesting, because when they need a big play, they go to Stamps.
Go to Charles. Isha done there, and Charles written down around the 39. One thing we haven't seen tonight, and maybe just for preservation of the quarterback, Mike Riley has not taken off very much with the football.
No, it's been a different real approach, a different attack. They usually run a lot of those zone reads or riding the side plays. I guess with Hugh Charles not being in there for every down, it takes some of the reps away from that package. But Riley has run in the pass games a lot out of that package.
Second and 6. Bombers pressure comes on. A pass for Cohorn, and it's incomplete. Marty Marquette was there defensively. Eskimos looking for a flag as there was a little pumping downfield.
You know, there was some bumping, but I thought Nate Cohorn almost thought that Riley was kind of going to just throw this away. He almost looked like he stopped running his route, and then he suddenly realized that the ball was actually there and catchable, and then started to fight back towards it.
So the Eskimos are going to try a long field goal. Hugh O'Neill has hit from 46 this season. Attempting here from 46. And O'Neill puts it through. So Hugh O'Neill with the shot to get Eskimos within 10. Well, the game within the game tonight, those first-time offensive tackles for the Bombers.
Dan Knapp out of Arizona State, played 4 preseason games with the Oakland Raiders. Got the call, been here 4 days, had a good first half, and then the wheels are starting to wobble on him a little bit in this second half. Brandon Lang with a sack, pressure on the inside, he's got to settle in again.
Quick hitter into the hands of Clarence Denmark, brought down by Sherritt. Fumble, and do the Eskimos have it? They're signaling. They've got it, and they do. So the Eskimos within 10 and now get the football back. Another turnover. And for the 9th consecutive game, it's at least 3 turnovers for Tim Burke's offense.
Tim Burke trying to take a quick look to see if Clarence Denmark may have been down by contact. I don't think he was. At least it didn't look like he was when I watched the play live.
Landed on Sherritt as the ball comes loose.
So he's still live as long as he's on Sherritt. And it looked like it came out before his elbow touched.
Fans want a challenge. Edmonton goes to work. Starting at the bottom, 43. Riley throws back for Henry. He's got it. Marcus Henry up to get it against Marty Marquette and has a first down for Edmonton at the 25. It's an 18-yard pickup.
Simeon Rotier is going to pull from the right guard spot here, Chris. He gets outside and gets a block, a key one for Riley, who's going to roll this way and throw all the way back to the backside of the formation. We've seen this play in the first half to Fred Stamps. Watch 65. He gets out there, gets this block right there. That allows no pressure from that side on Mike Riley, and he can throw backside.
Charles in the backfield. 4 receivers wide side. Here comes the rush. And it's complete to Henry again. Javon Johnson there. Couldn't bring him down, and now they'll swarm Henry at about the 18-yard line.
Boy, that was student body blitz. That was send the house. Riley recognized it and got it out of there. Straight out, take a look at what Riley was facing here. See, Winnipeg Blue Bombers send some pressure. Deja Dunn, Enoch Mwamba, both linebackers come on the blitz. Nice pickup up front.
Well, now 2nd and 3. McCarty and Charles, the handoff. Charles, and Hugh Charles drops the football.
Alex Suber has it.
Bombers celebrating as they come up with it.
They say the officials just ruled Bomber ball.
So the defense gets it back. And Alex Suber comes up with it as the Eskimos turn it over down inside the 15.
Brian Turner makes first contact. I think he pops it out of there, forced fumble. There's the tackle, ball is out. Hugh Charles nowhere near down by contact. Alex Suber says thank you, lands right in his lap.
So the force from Brian Turner, Alex Suber comes up with it, and now the turnovers are 3 apiece as they exchange fumble recoveries on the last 2 series. Max Hall, there's a completion to the sidelines, and Terrence Edwards has another catch. Six for Terrence Edwards, who needed 6 catches coming in for 500 in his career, and he has 4 tonight. So at 498 for Terrence Edwards. Second and 4. Sherritt on the blitz. Hall with pressure, looking for Foster, can't make the grab. Working against the corner, Eric Samuels.
Now, Keem Foster got a little tied up with Eric Samuels and really didn't fight through it. I mean, this is a guy that's got breakaway downfield speed. Think back to 2011. He had more than a half dozen big plays over 50 yards. Traded by the BC Lions and just couldn't fight away from Eric Samuels over the middle on that dig route, that crossing route.
Jamal Miles awaits just on the Eskimo side of half. Mike Renault, little breeze at his back, and he forces Miles back inside the 40. Big boot. Decent return back up to the 50-yard line. Tackled by James Green. Darius Bowman and the Edmonton Eskimo offense trying to cut into this 10-point Bomber lead when we come back. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Just under 10 minutes left. 10-point Bomber lead. Mike Riley and the Eskimos start at their own 50-yard line. Big to Charles. There's McCarty, and he is taken down. Big defensive play there by Alex Subaru.
This looks like the Alex Subaru of old. Remember Alex Subaru when he first came in the league 4 years ago? We talked about how, pound for pound, Alex Subaru was one of the biggest hitters in the league in his first couple of years. He would just come up, even though he's only 5'7", 173, and he'd bring it. I mean, he just was one of the hardest hitting DBs in the league, and that kind of disappeared this year. It's like it may be coming back. That's the Alex Subaru of old right there.
And in a lot of ways, more like the Bomber defense of old. Second and long. Pass for Bowman, and they'll draw a flag as Marquette was on his back before the ball arrived.
Now the rule of thumb here, because I watched this one right in front of our location on Marty Marquette, the rule of thumb is you can put your, as a defensive back, hand or arm around the back of a receiver running the out or the curl, but you can't twist him. You can't turn him as he's going back to the football.
Pass interference. Winnipeg, number 27. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So again, keep that in mind. We're going to show you a great look at it. We have him in isolation here as Darius Bowman runs his out now. Now watch, slow it down here, guys. Watch how he gets the arm around the waist. That's okay until he turns the shoulders of Bowman. That's when they call it, and that's the correct call.
Well, it's a first down at the Bomber 50. Here comes the pressure. Crosser, Chambers, and DeMond Washington tracked it perfectly and brings Chambers down at the line of scrimmage. He's a guy that's going to be in the running for All-Star consideration, isn't he, DeMond Washington?
You know, I think you're right. I mean, a guy that's got a couple of sacks, if they blitz from the secondary, it is either the safety or it is DeMond Washington. And when he does go after the quarterback, he gets there. So he's had success when he blitzes out of the secondary. Nice man-to-man coverage on Chambers there.
DeMond Washington, top 10 in tackles this year. Second and long. They had to hurry it, but they get it into the hands of Chambers.
Oh, good effort.
Yeah, he did. He fought for an extra yard or two to give Keevers Reed the option on third down. Where's the spot? It's going to be 2 yards short. So do they try a 49-yard field goal or go 3rd and 2?
Timeout.
Or pin
Edmonton
with a punt. Keevers Reed has a few options and calls a timeout.
Well, and on second down, he can't challenge the spot of the football. I thought Shamad Chambers dove in and got closer to that 40-yard stripe. I mean, he reaches the ball there. The mark is back 2 yards shy of it. Knee touches. I think upon review, the spot isn't all that bad.
So 3rd and 2, and
Hugh O'Neill just hit a long one.
Hit from 46. Didn't have a whole lot extra. This would be 49, but the offense is staying on the field.
I think you try a field goal here. I mean, depending, unless the wind at field level is picked up a little bit, he just made a 46-yarder.
Offense stays out. Charles looks for 2. He's got it. Clutch 3rd down conversion. Pierre-Luc Labbé the tackle. But Keevers Reed's offense has a fresh set of downs.
Well, gutsy calling pays off, and as a head coach, if you make these gutsy calls and you're right, you're right. I mean, that's as simple as it gets, and watch Hugh Charles pick it up. And you know what else that call tells me? They're having a little more confidence in that O-line to run that kind of running play in a crucial down like that.
It's another offensive line that's been under scrutiny in recent weeks, to say the least. Riley, and he's got Bowman again. First down for Darius Bowman and the Eskimos at the 20, and what a luxury now to have Bowman and Stamps in the same offense.
The speed of Darius Bowman as he's going to run the end. Watch him push off the coverage here to make sure that he makes that defensive back. Marty Marquette turns. He had to turn and do a blind turn back inside. And at the other end, blitz came from Pierre-Luc Labbé, and it was picked up nicely by Hugh Charles right in the hole.
4 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown for Darius Bowman. 18 on that grab. Out of a double tight end formation, flag down, Stamps the catch, short yardage, and let's await the flag from Kim Murphy's crew. It looked like it's going against Edmonton.
You know, when I saw Pierre-Luc Labbé come on that blitz from the linebacking core, the Bombers, just because of the Canadian ratio, making that switch, moving Javon Johnson to
Edmonton,
safety.
number 4. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
So it was against Bowman, and the penalty called before the play got off, so it's 1st and 15.
Well, it puts Labbé back at linebacker, and Johnson again plays safety. It moves Marty Marquette out to corner.
Teague Sherman comes in when Labbé's not on the field, so they always have to have that Canadian in place of Koshi Mwambo's usually at safety. Pressure, Riley gets it away. Big opening here for Calvin McCarty, down to the 5, and he'll step out at about the 2-yard line. Boy, that whole side of the field opened up for McCarty.
Riley takes a hit. There was a penalty flag right beside Riley. May have been either a late hit or a dangerous one on the quarterback. Not sure how they're going to call this. Unnecessary roughness possible.
Roughing the passer.
Yeah.
Winnipeg number 54. 50, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Kenny Maynard. And so they marked him out at around the 3. They're going to put it at the 1-yard line, 1st and goal.
But because of the play and because of the quick recognition from Mike Riley, the penalty isn't going to add much. They'll just add a yard or 2, yard and a half. Get it right down on the 1-yard line.
And McCarty did step out about the 2-yard line, half the distance, down to the 1 for Kerry Joseph, the short yardage group, and Joseph plunging in, touchdown. So after a 3rd and 2 gamble, the Edmonton Eskimos push it in, and a convert away from being within a field goal.
Well, you know what? It was a gutsy call. I mean, you talk about the fact that the Edmonton Eskimos had just kicked a long field goal, 46-yarder. They had a 41-yard attempt lined up on 3rd and a long 2. Kavis Reed decides to have confidence in his offense and his O-line to run the ball to Hugh Charles on 3rd and 2. Picks up the first, and his offense thanks him for that confidence by punching it in.
So they whittle away that Winnipeg lead. Coughed it up earlier, but now within 3. Wendy's Friday Night Football brought to you by Late Night. Participating Wendy's open until midnight or later. Now that's better. 9 plays, 60 yards, and a touchdown to tighten this thing up. With 5:35 to go, Kerry Joseph, the quarterback sneak for the major score. Will Ford running onto this at the 20. Up to the 34-yard line, and now some pressure on those big offensive tackles.
Well, the tougher position is the left tackle with the right-handed quarterback, and Jarvis Jones has played solid all game long. Seen Dan Knapp start to struggle in this second half a little bit more, but Jarvis Jones out of Oklahoma, 6'7", 302 bills, 4 days in against Marcus Howard and Odell Willis. He's played very well all night.
Here's Will Ford trying to get outside. Marcus Howard in pursuit. But Ford turned the corner and should have a first down.
Jarvis Jones even picked up the second level here. Watch that left tackle. Now he passes up Marcus Howard because that's not his man. He shows you his athleticism and his speed to get out on TJ Hill, the linebacker, who's the cover linebacker for Edmonton, and be able to run him right out of bounds.
So a 9-yard pickup. And saw Chris Kowalczyk, 67, declare that
he's eligible.
And I think wanted to make sure that Kim Murphy wanted to make sure that the defense notified of that as he lines up at the tight end spot. And the surge ahead will provide a fresh set of downs. Give us a chance to congratulate our stats guy, who's might be a little distracted tonight. He's given us all the right numbers, but he's a proud new grandfather with the arrival of Blakely Ann Moyer last night at 3:11 in the morning. And our congratulations to the entire Moyer clan on the new addition.
And now Dave, our stats guy, is Pops.
Pops.
That's awesome.
All taking a shot, and they do get the flag. Joe Burnett, Aaron Kelly in a battle there. And the flag came out a little late, but there were a lot of Winnipeg fans that saw it early.
Yeah, and you know, I think Max Hall saw it early too. I think that's the only reason he threw it up there, because it didn't look like Aaron Kelly had run the route or won the route or even close to winning it.
Pass interference. Edmonton, number 22. Point of foul. Automatic first down.
And the old corner, who is now the head coach of the Eskimos, doesn't like the call.
Well, Joe Burnett is getting so physical down here on Aaron Kelly that I think Max Hall saw it early. He said, I'll just throw it up, maybe get the call.
So it's a first down at the 45, back into the hands of Ford. And he's dragged down by Marcus Howard. Close to 5 for Ford on that first down run. Eskimos defense trying to put a stop to this and make sure it doesn't become a 2-score deficit once again. And penalties an issue.
Even in the win, over 100 yards of penalties last week.
Second down, Hall got Kohler, his favorite target early tonight. Rory Kohler's been quiet, but that's a big first down catch. Keeps this offense on the field.
Max Hall took a while to get up. In fact, he needed a little help from his tackle, Jones. Takes a hit here to complete this one.
$13 yards for Kohler.
Dan Knapp going one-on-one on Odell Willis. Steps outside. Remember how patient, he lost the inside leverage on a sack earlier on. Maintains it there.
63 yards for Kohler in the game. His 12th second down conversion catch. And again, not much on the first down run from Ford. So we've hit the 3-minute warning here. Bombers have the football in scoring range, trying to add to a 3-point lead.
Couple plays ago, Max Hall took a hit there, banged his head on the leg of Armando Sewell. Real wobbly getting up. This was 2 plays ago. Had to get help back to the huddle. Help there from Jones.
And now 2nd and 10 after the run was stopped. Hall just throw that one away. More pressure on Ted Laurent. Another shot.
That one hurt him as well.
And Max Hall now finding out what Mike Riley has felt like much of this year, and Hall really feeling the effects of that last hit from Ted Laurent.
Well, we've been focusing on the tackles outside because they're so inexperienced, and meanwhile Ted Laurent just splits that double team between Justin Sorensen and Tyson Pencer.
Spencer, the number 3 pick in 2012, who comes off the 9 game, and all of a sudden he's in the starting lineup. And Max Hall getting attention at the bench as Sandro DeAngelis surveys a 34-yard field goal attempt. Sandro puts it up, and he has missed. And it's coming out. Joe Burnett. And we've seen this from Burnett before. He keeps it a 3-point game, but the hesitation has him dropped at the goal line.
Well, unless the offense for the Edmonton Eskimos can get some breathing room here, he gives up a single, or they'll have to give up 2. If they can't move off this goal line, I'm not sure what he saw. But again, should the instructions have got to come in from the bench before he gets out there as to what he should do with the football.
Jake Thomas with the tackle as Burnett bubbled back. That'll test the patience of the head coach.
Well, it keeps it a 3-point game, but this is a much more difficult position to be in against a pretty good pass rush.
This is where the fans will try to be a factor. Edmonton starts at their own 1. Little breathing room to Stamps. And Fred Stamps over 100 yards in the game, and that's the 5th time he's done that this year.
Now, I've watched all game long as the matchup that's been interesting is that Darius Bowman lined up on Marty Marquette, and this key 2nd down and 3. Now it's only 3, so there's options. And the S could go with a running play, as a matter of fact, here, try and surprise him.
Calvin McCarty, the running back. 2nd and 3 to the sideline, and Chambers has it and steps out, but they'll get a 1st down. They mark Chambers out at the 23. A lot of confidence in the youngster, 24-year-old Shamad Chambers.
Well, and the Bombers go with the corner blitz and leave Shamad Chambers open. There's the corner lined up on him, and he's going to blitz and leave his man uncovered. Something you rarely see in the Canadian Football League, and Chambers just smartly turns around and says, hey, the corner left me. I'm a target, I'm open. And Mike Riley found him.
Excuse me, Glenn, 5 catches for Chambers. Big 1st down. Riley stands in, look out! Almost picked. Alex Subert, who has not had a pick since the opening game, pick 6 against the Hamilton Tiger Cats in 2011. Nearly had one there.
Like almost that Subert mistimed his jump a little bit here. He's got 6 tackles and a forced fumble in this game already, and almost added a pick. Little late jumping for the football, and then it ended up behind him.
No interceptions last year, hasn't had one this season yet. Had a big night, and now a big play, 2nd and 10. Still over 2 minutes to go. Riley had a lot of time and then misses Marcus Henry. It'll be 3rd down, but the punt team's coming on.
But he did get some room for his punt team. You know, a throw to Shamad Chambers, a throw to Fred Stamps, and they've got the Edmonton Eskimos get room to keep it a 3-point game and to punt the football away.
And although Winnipeg will get good field position, a field goal might not decide it tonight if the Bombers add 3 more. Wobbly punt. Bouncing into the hands of Johnson at the 50-yard line. So Max Hall and company will take over there. And a reminder, tomorrow, doubleheader action from Moncton. Alouettes and Tiger Cats will tangle. And then it's the Argos in Calgary. Matchup of division leaders. So Max Hall was knocked out with that last series, and it's Justin Goltz coming in, all on the sidelines. Interesting that it's Goltz, in that we're led to believe Jason Boltus might be next up tonight. Will Ford again, and maybe Goltz, his ability to run is an asset in this situation.
Yeah, I would think so. Plus, he's got more game experience this year. And there's the hit by Ted Laurent.
And you had shown a replay a couple of plays earlier that had him knocked a little woozy, and now a rib shot, and Hall to the sidelines in some difficulty.
A couple of places, kind of grabbed the wrist, holding his ribs.
So now Justin Goltz looking at 2nd and 7. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper. And he'll be stopped short. Had to get to the 50. But again, likely why he was in the game and not Boltus at that juncture.
I think that's exactly why, Chris. I mean, Jason Boltus was in the number 2 spot.
Edmonton.
We were told yesterday that if something were to happen to Max Hall, we would see Jason Boltus. But because of the situation in the game,
please put 2 seconds on the clock to read 1:26.
We'll get 1:26. We'll get those 2 seconds put back on. That they decide to go with the running quarterback in Justin Goltz, who can do that well. And he had his own Wildcat kind of package before he started anyway. Started to start games.
Well, 2-9, and 2-9 have created some pretty interesting drama here tonight.
Well, it's crucial that the Bombers get this punt out of bounds. And what happens if it's not? You got a new returner back there. Will he know what to do in Jamal Miles?
Mike Renault with a breeze at his back. And Miles fields it at the 5. Up across the 20, 25. And a good return to the 28-yard line. Didn't have a lot last week, but he showed enough speed that the Eskimos were excited about what Jamal Miles could provide. He's just given Mike Riley decent field position with 1:15 to go.
Well, considering a series ago, Riley came out and took the first snap from his own 1-yard line. Things have worked out pretty well. Riley over 300 for the 4th time this season.
But as he's mentioned, in those other 300-yard games, doesn't matter anymore unless they win. Can they generate a drive for 3? Could they do better than that? First down. And to the sidelines, Coolhorn, and that one almost picked up. Marty Marquette had a play on the football.
Been close on a couple of these outs to the short side of the field. It looks like maybe Mike Riley may be telegraphing a little bit. Looking over there and holding that stare as he looks to the sideline on the short side of the field. Suber had a shot. Marquette just had a shot.
Second and 10. Pressure on. Riley unloads downfield, wants Stamps, and it's knocked away. Great play by the safety, Javon Johnson, who looks pretty good in the middle.
Yeah, they look like a lot better secondary. Koshi Mwamba's a young player that will continue to get better, but just the experience of Javon Johnson and a guy who has favored Fred Stamps all game long. Now, they gave up a touchdown when Johnson favored Stamps and they threw it to Darius Bowman. But if you take away the leading receiver in the CFL or limit him and make the other receivers beat you, your chances increase in a big way. And that's what Javon Johnson has done tonight. And you can bet he'll be looking where number 2 comes out of the huddle again.
Comes down the list for the Eskimos, 3rd and 10. Riley steps up, fires, and a tip. Fred Stamps behind everybody. And Stamps all the way down to the 27. A miraculous completion by Riley off a fingertip. And how did it reach Fred Stamps?
Well, it went right through the hands of a Winnipeg defender, and Stamps was waiting for it at the other side. Riley buys some time by stepping up in the pocket and then getting outside, throws into the middle.
Off the hands of DeMond Washington.
After yards per game, illegal block. Edmonton number 89. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that illegal block just called on Marcus Henry brings it back 10, and that's important because it probably brings it back outside of O'Neill range at the moment.
It does, but it gives that's the first down and hope with lots of time to go.
54 yards, and it's been that kind of year for Tim Burke.
Well, Damon Washington, I mean, that was a pick, was high throw. You think about missed opportunities in that Bomber secondary. Alex Suber is down, but remember a couple series ago, he had a chance to intercept an out and would have scored. Marty Marquette had a chance on an interception. That was a little bit more a tougher catch, but he had an opportunity. And now Damon Washington, a difficult catch back against the grain.
You almost wonder who Riley was throwing to, but it reached the right target in the nick of time for Cambridge Reed's crew. So Suber to the sidelines, and that causes some adjustments, and now a late adjustment as Pierre-Luc Labbé comes on. Sherman to the sidelines. Desjardins has to drop back as a defensive back from the 41st down. Riley looking for Chambers. He's got it. What a catch. Shamad Chambers working against Bo Smith, who came in, and it's the 6th catch of the game for Shamad Chambers.
And 2 big ones in this 4th quarter. Remember when they were backed up, back down inside their 10-yard line, and off the corner blitz, Shamad Chambers moved the chains, got him room to kick it out of there, and that's huge. Coverage all over him, and Shamad Chambers puts him in field goal range and maybe more.
So at the with 44 seconds left, they're at the 10. First and goal. Pressure. Riley back of the end zone and incomplete.
Throw it away.
Looking for Stamps, but you're right. With the pressure on, just reload and get ready for second and goal.
Yeah, that was a smart decision. Mike Riley saw the coverage was pretty tight on Fred Stamps, and he just threw it out the back of the end zone, knowing that he's in field goal range for the tie. Worst case scenario, with lots of time to go after it here.
More heat, the pump, Chambers open, and he can't make the catch.
Oh my.
Got twisted around after he got behind Bo Smith. And the field goal unit will have to come on.
Little double move and pump fake from Riley. Boy, and Shamad Chambers was wide open. Ball thrown to the back shoulder.
The previous catch was a tougher one, wasn't it?
Oh, way tougher. Way tougher. Coverage all over him. So both coaches reacting different situations. And remember, O'Neill missed a chip shot earlier in this game.
From 17 to tie. And the game is tied. 23 seconds left. Are we headed to overtime for the first time this year?
23 seconds. If the Winnipeg Blue Bombers likely take the football here on the 35-yard line after the field goal, it's their option. You have time for, if you're efficient, possibly 3, maybe 4 plays. 3, I would say.
Haven't had overtime since July 19th last year when Calgary beat Saskatchewan. You're right, it's not a certainty tonight. But a 54-yard miraculous deflection to Fred Stamps when it looked like the Eskimos were going to turn it over on downs, has given them the opportunity to tie it and force overtime tonight.
And this is the other key component to this, is that Max Hall was banged up, and it looks like it's going to be Justin Goltz. So now do you get Justin Goltz to force it down the field when he's only played one series and 2 downs, which he ran on both of them?
Another question would be, take the ball at the 35 and go to work, or hoping Will Ford can do better than that and take some pressure off your young quarterback. Shaw, short, and this one on the ground, and Will Ford's got to eat it at the 30, so they lose 5 by accepting the kickoff.
Lose 5 yards, and it looked like only 1 second.
Clock does not start until the receiving team gets the football.
Lucky they didn't lose more time on that.
Well, it has been an interesting year, to say the least, for the quarterbacks of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Max Hall, a strong night, but knocked out, and now Justin Goltz a chance to improve his stock. And no, they're not. They're going to play for overtime and just take a knee, and the fans don't like that. But considering that Goltz is coming in cold.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're in your own end of the field. This is not a bad choice by Tim Burke at all. The fans hate it.
Odell Willis is waving at the fans to make more noise.
But you got a cold quarterback coming in off the bench. In your own end, a mistake down here, it's game over. Edmonton wins. You go into overtime.
So the Edmonton Eskimos fight back, and we're not done yet. And both coaches have disappointing moments here in the final minute. Big play by Stamps, and then the drop in the end zone. It's been an agonizing night for both of them. 14 months and a day since our last overtime, so we should refresh everybody with the rules.
Kind of like the old college rules, where teams will play maximum 2 mini games here, and they'll start at the 35-yard line. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers won the toss and elected to play defense first, so they'll play on defense. You have to go for 2-point convert if you score.
Edmonton trailed 20-0 early, 20-11 at the half, 27-11 early third quarter. And now in overtime, where Hugh Charles takes the handoff and into the secondary, brought down at the 20-yard line. So a good start for the Eskimos as Hugh Charles carries the football, but there is a flag down in the Winnipeg secondary.
I'm also trying to look at this
face mask call against Winnipeg.
That'll put it right down inside.
Major foul, face mask. Winnipeg, number 3. After distance roll, first down.
Coach Mwamba's in the game. They have moved Javon Johnson back to the defensive back position and out of the safety spot. Coach Mwamba, who had the bad ankle, is back at safety. He gets the face mask.
And I believe that's with Zuber back in.
Yeah, Disha Dunn is out at halfback.
First down, back in the hands. Nice cut by Charles, and another. What a run by Hugh Charles. Touchdown. So Charles gets into the end zone on his 11th carry of the game. They spotted him, but Hugh Charles looking slick here.
Was he ever? Great move off the block of Miles Mason. Used sparingly tonight.
11th carry, 81 yards, and Charles into the end zone, and again they'll go for 2.
Big down here to give the Bombers, trying to give the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, trying to give their offense a chance to win it in their possession, but they've got to get the stop here. Hope that their offense can score the major in the 2-pointer.
And just to confirm that he might not be 100%, that might be his first touchdown to the CFL without the trademark flip. So they go for 2. Pressure off the edge, Riley, and it's caught. Chambers found the handle just in time.
Oh, he fought that one. He fought the football like it was his worst enemy, but comes up with it. And this is just fighting a little. You're seeing an athlete fight self-doubt while the play is happening. After the drop at the end of regulation, Shamad Chambers just fought through it and won the fight with a two-point convert. Now the Bombers have to match. They need to get it in the end zone and the two-pointer.
First lead of the night, and it comes beyond 60 minutes. Mike Riley, by the way, over 400 yards passing. Second time he's done that this year. And out, Justin Goltz. That pass sails high. Looking for Aaron Kelly.
Go back to that touchdown by Hugh Charles, because the block by Miles Mason is outstanding on Henoch Mwamba, the middle linebacker. He's the guy who's got that gap. It's number 10's responsibility, but there's a nice block right there. That gives Hugh Charles a chance to bounce and get into that second level.
Justin Goltz looks at 2nd and 10. Need a touchdown and need the two-point convert, and here comes the heat. Knocked away. Ball is loose. And does Winnipeg get back on it? They do, back at midfield. And it will be 3rd and almost 30.
And Tim Burke's squad's got a Hail Mary. Pretty good game by left tackle Jarvis Jones, and that time he just did not get outside and get even a hand on the rush end. Odell Willis off the edge.
Eskimos were down to a 3rd down in the final minute, then stayed alive, and now Goltz must do the same. Downfield, up for grabs, knocked down, and this game is done. And the Edmonton Eskimos storm back for an improbable win in a year of some heartbreaking losses. The Edmonton Eskimos hand one to Tim Burke and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Our first overtime game of the year. And the Edmonton Eskimos come up with their first win in Winnipeg since 2007. They go to 3-9, and the Blue Bombers drop to 2-10.